Today's video we are going to go over some problems involving supply and demand. First let's go over a couple definitions. So the quantity supplied of a good is the amount of a product that a company is willing to make available for sale at a given price P. The quantity demanded of a good is the amount of product that consumers are willing to purchase at a given price P. And then the equilibrium price of a product is defined as the price at which the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded. And the idea is this: if the price, if you have something that you want to sell, let's say we're selling widgets, and the price we can sell it for is $10, versus if and let's say that the price goes up to $15. The higher the price that a company can sell a widget for, the more they will be willing to make, because they're going to make more and more money. Whereas the amount that people are willing to buy will go down because they don't want to spend that much. Let's pretend it was $10, now it went down to $5. If you can only make $5 per widget, you're less likely to be motivated to make widgets, so maybe the quantity is going to go down, but if it's $5 per widget, people are more likely to want to buy it. They will buy more of them at that price. And eventually, in economic theory, there's an equilibrium price where the price, the quantity that is supplied at a given price will meet the quantity demanded. The perfect price will be found where the amount that people are willing to make will be equal to the amount people are willing to buy. Let's just go over a problem. So let's suppose that the quantity supplied S and the quantity demanded D of hot dogs at a baseball game are given by the following functions. S of P is equal to negative 2,000 plus 3,000 P, and D of P is equal to 10,000 minus 1,000 P, where P is the price of a hot dog. And we need to find the equilibrium price for hot dogs at the baseball game. We're going to find that, and then we'll find what is the equilibrium quantity. So the equilibrium price will be the price at which the amount supplied, which is given by S of P, will be equal to the amount demanded. So it's that special price at which the amount of hot dogs that the person is willing to cook at that price is equal to the amount of hot dogs that people are willing to buy at that price. And then we just plug in our numbers. And so we replace S of P with what it's equal to, and we're going to do the same for D of P. We're going to replace that with what it's equal to. So just set the supply formula and the demand formula equal to each other, and we are going to solve for P. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move all the P's, all the variable terms, to the left-hand side of my equal sign. So I'm going to add 1,000 to both sides, 1,000 P to both sides of my equation. On the right-hand side, these cancel out. I'm left with this equation. Next, I'm going to get rid of that negative 2,000 by adding 2,000 to both sides. And this will send all the number terms to the right-hand side of my equal sign. This cancels out. And then finally, we will divide both sides by 4,000. And so the equilibrium price of a hot dog at this stadium is $3. Now, the equilibrium quantity will tell you how many hot dogs will be made and how many will be demanded, how many will people buy at this price. And all we have to do is plug in P equals 3 into one of these two equations, and it should be the same for both. So we'll just plug it into, I guess we'll do the demand one because that one seems maybe a little bit easier because there's no negative number. And our demand formula is 10,000. Oh, we'll do this. I guess they both have negative numbers, not that it's a huge deal. But all right, so there's our formula. And I'm going to plug in 3. So that's going to be 10,000 minus 3,000, which is 7,000. So the equilibrium, and how do they say it? They say the equilibrium quantity of hot dogs is 3,000. Now, if you wanted to check your work, just to make sure you got this correct, you could just plug in 3 into the supply formula. Let me double check I wrote that correctly. And so let's see, we should get the same exact equilibrium quantity. And when we add everything up, or when we simplify everything, yes, we get the same exact quantity. So if we set the price of a hot dog at $3, the people selling the hot dogs find it worth their time to make 3,000 hot dogs. The people buying it, or I'm sorry, to make 7,000 hot dogs, and the people buying the hot dogs want 7,000 hot dogs at that price. Determine the prices for which the quantity demanded is less than the quantity supplied. Okay, so that would be, when is the demand less than the supply? So I'm just going to set them equal to each other. And remember, our demand formula is 10,000 minus 1,000 P. And our supply formula is negative 2,000 plus 3,000 P. And I'm going to solve this inequality. So let's add 1,000 to both sides, and you will see this is very similar to what we just did. So we'll do it rather quickly. Oops. All right. And so I'm going to add 2,000 to both sides. And again, I'm just trying to get all the variable terms to one side of the inequality, all the number terms to the other side. And I'm going to divide by 4,000. Now, if I have the variable on the right-hand side, I do like to switch it around. And so we get, when P is greater than 3, that's when the demand will be less than the supply. Let's read the question. The quantity demanded will be less than the quantity supplied if the price of a hot dog is greater than $3. And that should kind of make sense because they'll be equal at $3, but if the price gets bigger and bigger, less and less people will want it, but the people selling it are happy to sell it, or will want to make more of it if they feel like they can sell it for more than $3. So the supply will go up if the price is above $3, but the demand will go down, and so the supply will be larger than the demand. And what do you think will eventually happen to the price of hot dogs if quantity demanded is less than quantity supplied? All right, that's like the scenario we just talked about. So let's think about this. Let's say it's $4 is the price, and so every day that they're selling hot dogs, they're selling $4 hot dogs, and they continue to make more and more hot dogs than people actually want to buy. So at the end of the day, there will be extra hot dogs that just end up getting thrown away, and so that makes it less profitable for the people selling the hot dogs. And so eventually they'll realize, hey, we're making too many hot dogs. People are not buying as many hot dogs as they would if we priced it a little bit smaller. And so the price over time will get lower and lower until it reaches about the equilibrium price of $3. So it'll get lower and lower and eventually settle on about $3. Okay, so that's supply and demand. Good luck. Hope that was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.